What's going on, my peeps? It's your boy, Dr. River. I just want to jump on real quick before I get my evening workout in. Reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify that one word in the scripture called study. We live in a day and age, for me, someone who loves to, delve into the meaning, the etymology, to find the true meaning or the root cause of whatever the topic is, whether we're talking about, wealth, health, wisdom, or relationships. But it's very interesting because in today's age, we have access to, this is the age of awareness. So we got access to, more information. Not that that's good or bad, but at least you get a chance to, delve into it. So when we're talking about, studying, I've been doing this for, over 20 years, and it's very interesting because everybody has different, areas of expertise. We have different subjects that, appear to us or that we may be interested in. There's 3 verses that this word study is mentioned inside of, the Bible 3 different times, especially in the New Testament. We see it's mentioned in Ecclesiastes 12:12, 1 Thessalonians 4:11, 2 Timothy 2:15, where we see this word. And when we look at this word, it says in Ecclesiastes 12:12, it's very interesting because it says, "And further by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books, there is no end. And much study is wearisome of the flesh." So it's telling us that, the first time we see that word study, and as you guys know, I really encourage people to, as we will get into the next scripture where it talks about, this word study. But it's interesting because, a lot of us, we leave that to other people. We leave that to, the reverends, the doctors, the bishops, the teachers, people like myself who like to delve into the etymology of words and stuff. But it is recommended that everybody study. But it's important to understand that, like everything, balance is extremely important. You can't lock yourself away and just all you do is just research. Although that may be something that you would like to do. But hey, what's up, Brother Diamond? Man, I ain't seen you in a while, my brother. And so studying is something that I like to do. But if it's something that you really, really like to do, like me, then you wanna monetize it. You wanna be able to do it at a high enough level where you're able to get paid for doing what you love to do. Which is why we're talking about this one word inside of the Bible, study. The next time we see this word, though, we see it inside of 1 Timothy 4:11. And there we see the word, and it says, "And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you." So now we see this word. First time it says, well, too much of it may not be that good for you. Second time we see it, though, it says that, hey, if you do this thing, it does something. It allows you to be able to work with your own hands from the perspective of, understanding that not only does it say it makes you quiet because I could get that because, you're busy. But then if you study to be quiet, and there we see this word study. And when we look it up right there, and that's why, again, this is part of studying. Studying is part of looking things up and getting to see the true hidden meaning of it. Let me increase the sound on this so that way you can kind of hear what that the meaning of the word is. And the reason why this is so important because this is called etymology. This is what I do every day.
G 5389. Philatimeiamai. Philatimeiamai.
And then when you click on that, so you get the word philatemeomai, and it tells us basically what that means. To be fond of honor, to be I guess that actuated by love of honor, for a love of honor, to strive to bring something to pass, to be ambitious, to strive earnestly, to make it one's aim. And it's very interesting because even with that word, again, what I do is I continue to go down till I get to the root cause of the word. So we see the next word, phileo, which means friend. We can look that up as well. We see another word right here, which means honor, prize, sum. So again, you get the gist of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that by engaging in study, you're able to get a deeper revelation of the true meaning of the words. You ain't got to take nobody's meaning. I mean, it's good, somebody like myself that's teaching and sharing and doing this, the preachers and everybody that's out there that's sharing information. But now you're able to look up because of the internet, because of AI, because of, things like, Bible Gateway, eSword. I'm using blueletterbible.org. All of these are tools that you can use to look up the definitions of these terms and of these words. Now, the last meaning for this word work that we talked about, or that we're talking about, is 2 Timothy. This is the one that everybody quotes. 2 Timothy 2:5, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman, not needed not to be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. So this is letting us know that, hey, if you do this, if you study, notice it's on you though. It's on you, Brother Diamond. It's on you, my brother. So if we study, notice now, when we look at this definition, and this is why I like, using different resources, and you can pick whether it's eSword or whatever resource you want to use. Again, this is just blueletterbible.org. But again, you get to use any resource you want. That's the beautiful thing about the day and age that we live in, because now you can't make excuses. You can, but hey, is that Sister Holly? What's going on, Sister Holly? How you been? How you been, my sister? And so when we understand that word study, again, let's look it up. Notice the meaning though in this verse. It's a little different than the previous verse that we just looked up. That's why you got to look up the definitions
Strong's
of these
G,
words.
4704, spudazo. Spudazo.
Spudazo. So we got a totally same English word, but a totally different meaning. This is what gets everybody. Most people, Sister Holly, most people, they don't look up the dead definition. It's dead. And it's a Phoenician. I know who the Phoenicians were. Another study for another time. But let's get back to the script. So we see this word, spidizo. So what does that mean? Is it similar to the previous definition? So here it says to hasten. To fasten. Now remember, the other definition had to do with business. And the other definition before that had to do with making yourself weary. And so it's one English word, and it got three different meanings. So this word, you can see at the not the very top, but up here where it says diligence, be diligence, give diligence, be forward, labor, to hasten, to make hasten, to exert oneself, to endure, to give diligence. So this word spidazo has to do, but look where it comes from. So we have to look up that word if we really, really, really want to get the etymology of the word. So what happens is most people don't do this, man. Most people too busy, and I get it. We got stuff to do. But the Diamond, we got stuff to do, my brother. We don't got time, but I get paid to do this, Sister Holly. So I got the time. So when we really look into the etymology of these terms, 90% of what people are saying is not the entire truth. It's kind of like a half truth. So underneath that word spadizo in the Greek, now remember this is all Greek, so we got to even look that up in another language.
4710, spude. Spude.
So now we got another word, spude, and then underneath that word is another word, and we just keep going. Again, earnest, diligence, accompanying, promoting, to strive after anything, to give all diligence, interest oneself most earnestly. So notice, Brother Diamond, what it's telling us that we're supposed to jump into this thing, man. If we're really serious about it, we're supposed to be, again, we're talking about one English word study. So that's, diligence, haste, business, care, forwardness, earnest care, carefulness. So when you're studying, this is all of those things that we should be doing when you're engaging in any particular topic, whatever you're sharing, especially if you're like me, if you're doing this for a living, if you're teaching this is why I always talk about my, my $100,000 reward to the Negro or the non-Negro that can prove me wrong. That's why I say this, because this is what I do all day, Sister Holly. I'll be looking stuff up. So again, underneath the word spude, we got another Greek word. So we pull that one up. And again, we look at the definition of it, get the pronunciation.
G, 4692, spudo. Spudo.
So that's another meaning. So all we're doing is we're just adding to the definition of the word to make sure we have a clear understanding. And that simply means haste, very similar to the previous word, to desire earnestly. So whatever you're studying, you should desire earnestly. So what if you're studying something that you don't desire? Maybe you shouldn't be studying it. Because remember, we're called and gifted. We're, I'm going to use the word designed. We have a prior existence. We've been predestined. So you're kind of pre-wired for specific topics. We'll put it that way. And then when we go underneath that word, there's another Greek word. And this is the last one because there's no root words. So really, you want to keep going, again, what I do,
Strong's
until you get to the bottom.
4228. Pus. Pus.
So the word study, the underlining root word for that word is that word, pus, whatever. So that means what? A foot. Both of men or beasts, often in the Orient. One put his foot on vanquished, whatever that means, of disciples listening to their teachers' instructions are said to be at his feet. So notice the word starts with feet, like sitting at someone's feet. So the primary root word, and Brother Diamond brought up a good point, feet means grounded. Man, good point, my brother. So when we see this primary root word, foot, like footstool. So we sit on a footstool. So earnest, footstool, diligence, all of these are words that make up one English word, study. But the concern is that one word, study, has three different meanings if we go back to the beginning where we started out this whole diatribe. We started with these three verses: Ecclesiastes 12:12, 1 Thessalonians 4:11, and 2 Timothy 2:16. We see that word study occurs three times in three verses in the King James Bible. That is why it's so important that we take the time to do our due diligence when it comes to study. Because otherwise you will be getting your information that's not quite 100% accurate. And that's how we get off into left field. So what I've done, and you guys know I do this all the time. I've been doing this full time for the last 20 years. The new group that I have is called the Illumination Roundtable. And I wanted to get close to the word Illuminati because it just means illuminated. And everybody's afraid of that word. And that's kind of why I'm using it as well. But all we're simply doing is, and I said 12, hey, I prefer 100. More the better. It's just like a high-level Bible study. Well, everybody's sitting down and everybody is able to dialogue. Everybody's able to talk about the topic. Not only are we going to be breaking down the Nag Hammadi text, the ancient text, and all that good stuff, but we're also going to be delving into movies, like the Transformer movies. And we're going to be looking at it from an esoteric and a didactic manner. So the whole point of the group, the round table, is to do exactly like we would do in a traditional Bible study, except we're really focusing on the Nag Hammadi text, the Dead Sea Scrolls, getting into what I call neurognosis. Now, that's a term that I think I've coined. It may already be out there, but I really love neuroscience. I also love Gnosticism. I love DMN, that's the Default Mode Network, and NLP, Neuro-Linguistical Program, Visualization, Imagination, Audio, Prayer, Praise, Prophecy, Worship, Faith, and Self-Evangelism. So we're combining all of that because that is the only way to tap into the neurons, or the CA1, the CA2, the CA3, which is part of the hippocampus, and rewrite the reticular activating system. That's it. Neurognosis. This ability to tap in, because the scripture says what? My people perish for lack of gnosis or lack of knowledge. So if this is something you're interested in, man, you guys already know what to do. Holler at me. Man, Brother Diamond, Sister Holly, man, so God, it's been a while since I've done a live. You guys know I used to do this every day. 2 or 3 times a day. Probably too much. But I'm still doing, I haven't went anywhere. Same old, I'm going to be doing a thing until till Jesus come back and leave again. But it's always an honor and a privilege to be able to come on and, I've developed relationships with a lot of people on social media. And it's always an honor and privilege to be able to break bread with you guys. Sister Holly, I'll be checking out your, what is it? TikTok. Yeah, so I think you're doing teaching now. I see you, Sister Holly. I see you. Brother Diamond, I ain't seen you in a while, my brother. It's good to see you as well, man. And shout out to everybody who listening to this live and listen to this later, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Like always, I'm going to see you at the top. God bless.